Hey folks, welcome back to Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin. We're here in the gutter. It is a very dark and icky place. And I'm gonna do my best to go through all of it and actually follow a decent route. I have a map out next to me that I am hoping will help me to get everywhere that I plan to go. But if you see me pause and refer to the map, it's because I don't know this area very well. Most areas in most Dark Souls games I have a pretty good mental map of, because I've played the games a lot. This area I've never quite managed to get a good mental map of. I usually just kind of stumble through and take the wrong ladder over and over until eventually I find my way to the bottom. And the bottom is our eventual goal. We want to get to the ground floor by whatever means necessary. But I'm going to take a very circuitous route to get there. Now, along the way, you can see I have my torch out. Along the way, I'm going to be lighting every sconce that I can get to. I don't think it's going to be every single sconce in the area, because there is, I believe, one behind a locked door, to which we do not have the key. But otherwise, I'm going to do my best. And I would recommend you do the same. You know, if you're a sorcerer, you can use the cast light spell or something like that. But even then, a torch is useful, because lighting the sconces as you go is a nice way to keep track of where you have been and where you have not been. And in an area as confusing as this, that is rather useful. Also, if you light the sconces as you go, you can then grab a light from the farthest sconce that you have visited if you happen to die, rather than just kind of lighting from the beginning every time. Hello! Well, that was rude. Let's get the heck out. So you might be wondering, dear God, what the hell is that? And also, yeah, those are pools of oil. This is a creature that we will see in greater detail in an area after this, but they're kind of weird worm creatures from the center of the earth. Oh my god, I'm having a rough time. And I think it's meant to kind of indicate how deep we've gone. It's like, we have gone so deep, we're seeing creatures that no human was ever meant to see. That could have gone a lot smoother. But I'm okay. Break that thing. Any other sconces here? Doesn't look like it. Let's drop down onto this ledge. Down onto that ledge. And we got a tower to climb. Oh, we got some explodey dudes. Let's be careful. There's one. Okay. There are explodey dudes in this area. The two in there, they're not too bad. Because you're in an enclosed area, you're not gonna get knocked anywhere. There are, I believe, a couple explodey dudes that are just kind of on bridges that can easily cause you to go flying off into the great abyss. Not literal abyss, as in darkness abyss, but just the pit. So you definitely want to be aware, snipe them if possible. The downside of carrying a torch everywhere, of course, is that you cannot two-hand weapons, you cannot have a weapon or shield in your left hand, and you cannot use, hello Melinda, You cannot use regular bow and arrow. You can use a crossbow, but not a regular bow and arrow, which does limit your moveset somewhat. Anyway, hey, Melinda here will invade, and Melinda she's a lot like Maneater Mildred, honestly. She is in the Blighttown-ish area of the game. She is a woman with a large weapon associated with butchers. But you just can't beat the OG. She's not the same as the original. Anywho, that kind of wraps off this loop of sorts. So I'm going to roll off here, light this sconce, run past those statues, and we're going to make our way back to where we started. And there's our bonfire. I'm not going to rest because I don't want the enemies to respawn. That would suck. But now, rather than crossing over that bridge, I am going to activate a broken floor. Here we go. There we go. Ordinarily, I fall into that by accident, but I actually managed to avoid it on purpose and then had to intentionally activate it. I'm very proud of myself. You may have noticed that certain torch-wielding hollows will drop torches for you. If you are low on them, that is a nice little benefit. You do still have to fight the clock a little bit. I'm doing alright, because I got about an hour's worth of time, and I think I can make it. But it's the kind of stressful resource management that could definitely frustrate people. Especially if you are dying a lot to combat and eating up torch time that way. Some people enjoy that kind of stress. I can see why you would not, especially since torches cannot be bought from anybody. You have to get them from items on the ground or enemy drops. Anywho, in here, we have a terrible, terrible room. Just full of statues, no prizes. Other than whatever is behind this door, that we cannot open, because it's locked. Screw you. So the key to that door is actually in the next area after this. And I don't know if I want to go back for it. I don't think it's actually very useful. But, I don't know. It's there. I'll let you know when we get the key. These two torches. Destroy these statues. One thing you may have noticed is that I am eating through my durability a lot faster than I normally do, because I am smashing statues in addition to killing enemies. And, you know, on the one hand, I'm only using one weapon at a time, whereas usually I'm using two. On the other hand, you know, you're gonna have to manage durability. If you are a one-weapon person, you are probably gonna want to have a backup, even if you just use it to break stuff with. There's a dog in there. See that? There's a big, mean old skinless dog. And this room is also full of urns that contain corrosive acid that will destroy your equipment if it gets on you. That's a sound effect. So be careful rolling around this room. It's definitely possible to kind of get yourself in a bad position. Man, that item dropped down, but I want it. And I think it dropped all the way down. So that's the thing about the geometry of this area. The floors, they are not completely solid. Where are you going, bud? Items can definitely drop through the planks and down to the next floor down, or all the way down to the ground. My equipment all right? Yeah, okay. Didn't get on me. So, that can be annoying if you like collecting shiny things like I do. But there's not much you can do to avoid it, so sorry. Alright, cool beans. So we are at another place where I kind of want to check my map. This is a place that was confusing for me in previous recordings. Also that thing. Get rid of you. Okay. That was silly of me. Okay. Just destroy all of you. Also, I think I may have accidentally activated and not shown it. That is a broken floor that will drop you down to the beginning of this tower. Won't set you back too far, but it's still an inconvenience. Alright, so we're going to want to drop down here, take care of this hollow, destroy those statues, and light this nice little cluster of 3 torches. So if you're crafty, you can jump over to that platform, but we've already been to that platform. It doesn't really warrant a return. Man, what happened here? Some of these guys hiding by the sconce, and it didn't end well. Or maybe they lived out their final days together. Speaking of which, I don't know if I got into the backstory of the gutter at all. It's pretty vague. Gilligan basically gave us all of it. He said that this is where people tossed their unwanted. Whether that's their unwanted trash, their unwanted corpses, maybe their unwanted undead. Hence the undead here, and the fact that there is, in fact, scaffolding and settlement and whatnot here, and not just a pile of corpses. Otherwise, I don't got much for you in terms of lore. Anyway, here's a tricky side path that I definitely had to do some poking around and referring to the map to find. Drop down here. Sometimes there's a message here that says, like, take a step forward. In fact, let's put one. Although I hear a dog. Yeah, let's take care of that dog. What's up, dog? These dogs are getting a lot of crass counters on me. There we go. Alright, there we go. Let's set a message here. Try... Dare I just say try jumping? Or... Yeah, let's do it. And then... Treasure. Or then, yeah, treasure. Okay. So if we drop off here, we'll get to this platform, which lets us drop onto here, and there is a whole little side area that is quite easily overlooked, I would say. But it is worth investigating. Also, I apologize if the frame rate drops here. I've been noticing some drops while I'm playing, and I think that is to do with the lighting of this area. Alright, no item, or no enemies here. The tattered cloth hood, or the tattered set, I suppose. Just gonna check for enemies real quick, okay. Let's check that out. It is... Here we go. Hood favored by pyromancers. It appears tattered, but in fact its fabric is reinforced with pyromancy. Magic is now showed as an art that allows mere mortals to glimpse into the very fabric of what is and may be. So there's that connection between fire and the fabric of reality, basically. Also, while I'm in the menu here, I am going to, actually, I'll keep my Uchi out, but I am going to swap over to my hammer, because look what we have here. We have an armored foe. Bit of an unusual one. Also, we're going to want to be careful of that thing. So it might look a little familiar. He looks a lot like a Haid Knight, but his helmet is different. It has a different shape and red plumage. I mean, this guy is not aggressive unless you fight him. Unless you attack him first, which we will, of course. Whoa. Backstab, excellent. So this is a special Haid Knight. I don't know, maybe he was higher ranking than the other Haid Knights we fought, but he will drop a Haid Knight, Iron Mask, and a Haid Lance. Let's take a look at the Lance first. Special alloy, makes it very durable. The composition of the alloy of these lances remains a mystery, but in Drang Lake, the attempt to imitate it resulted in the similar Braden steel, which I think is the gay steel that we've mentioned. Have we talked about this before? Maybe. Lances are normally wielded by mounted knights, and it takes considerable training to handle one on the ground. I hear thumping. Yeah, there's a hollow trying to get all up in my grill. Hey there. You coming after me? You're free to try. And then he dropped a hammer or not a hammer, a helmet for us. Iron Mask worn by the Haid Knights. Whether Haid refers to a kingdom or was just a name for the land is not clear, for no records date back far enough to tell. All that is known is that the Way of Blue has its origins in Haid, and that Haid was later subsumed by the sea. So they're leaning into the fact that, yeah, we don't really know what's up with Haid. It is too destroyed for us to know what's up. A very intentional choice on their part. And then the Aurorus set. We're just getting all sorts of cool stuff. Where is it? Here we go. Helm of Kings of the Desert Land of Jugo. Benhart's from Jugo. First worn by Aurorus, the land's heroic founder. That guy just ignored me. He's climbing up the ladder. What's up with that? According to legend, the armor of Aurorus is composed of a mysterious substance that cannot be seen by cowards. What do your eyes tell you? Well, I mean, I can see it, so... the whole Aurorus thing, it plays into another armor set that we can get later on in the game. As it stands, it's kind of a, I don't know, a reference to an Emperor's new clothes kind of situation. Alright, let's find that hollow that should be up here waiting for us. Estus Flask Shard. See? It was worth coming. Oh, maybe that was the guy. I don't know. And a great axe. Lots and lots of treasures. Solar Proud Knight. Now, if you were a little bit saddened by the fact that I didn't do as much ziplining as possible in the in Blighttown Cove Seldora, well, guess what? And now we're over here. Nice convenient way back. It's cool. I like it. Now then, where the heck are we? You may be wondering. Well, we can drop down there. Or we can drop down onto that bridge. I'm trying to figure out the safest way. Here we go. This is where we want to drop down. You can see that this is the nice 3 sconce structure that we encountered earlier. And now we have completed our loop, and we can take this rightward path. Any treasure? Doesn't look like it. I like the placement, just from a kind of a cheeky stinker point of view. I like the placement of this sconce right next to 3 statues that look very similar. Like this sconce. And do a crisscross over that other bridge. You can see we are drawing closer to that fog gate over there. Here, another dog. Now there's the trapdoor there, or not a trapdoor, but a breakable floor or a ceiling that caved in or something. There's a guy. There's an explodey dude. Careful. You can fall in that hole if you want, but you will miss out on another little side expedition that is neato, nifty keen, and a little bit icky. So we're gonna encounter some bugs real quick. If you don't like bugs, be warned. Come on. Do your jump. Do your thing. Or not. Alright, whatever. That's not the end of the bugs, though. There's at least one more, and it's one to brace for. But first, the Wicked Eye Great Shield. I don't know why it's called the Wicked Eye Great Shield, because it has a hand on it. It has an unsettling design covered in the prints of countless hands. The true origin of this shield is unknown. No amount of polishing can clear its face of the mysterious handprints. So that gives me the image of a warrior wielding that shield and their victims just kind of putting bloody handprints on the shield, begging for mercy. And the warrior probably saying no. Alright, and let us drop down here. Is that... Yep, that's a blow-up guy. Anybody else? Anything else? Okay. Poison arrows. Giving us a lot of poison stuff to work with if we want it. We've had a lot of poison throwing knives given to us. Alright. One more bug. So we've met these kind of poison mushroom beetles before. They generally would exude poison mist. here, they drop poison moss at a very high rate. And then we have this thing. I believe it's called the Corrosive Ant Queen. This fog that it is breathing out of its abdomen, it cures poison, which is nice, but also degrades your equipment. Not rapidly, but it's worth noting. If you are poisoned and out of poison moss, and somehow can come here and survive, then sure, go for it. Otherwise, it's just this really weird, creepy set piece. No one ever talks about this in the item descriptions here or anything. It's just here. It's like a, I've never played Demon Souls, but it seems like a Demon Souls kind of moment. Just something creepy and unsettling, hidden in a cavern. It's just there. Anyway, somebody just died. I don't know what's up with that. Alright, let's smash that. And we have this fog gate. It's a weird place for a fog gate, because it's not, like, it's not hiding a loading zone or anything. You can see right to the other side. I think it mainly serves as a beacon, because we could see it from pretty far off when we first entered the level. So it's something that you can work towards. Alright, I'm gonna be very wary of enemies in here, so they can come charging out of the dark. And you can see they have dark infused weapons, at least some of them. And they do substantial damage. Anybody else? Do have the bonfire over there. Screw you. Alright, so here's our bonfire. It's a journey to get to this bonfire. And we're getting close to the end of the gutter. We're not quite there, but we're getting close. In the next episode, we will finish our adventure through here. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time.